Ashton Jeanty. You know, again, DP, is there something to be said about? And again, I'm not knocking Ashton Jeanty. This is not what I'm doing.
Okay.
Is there something to be said about the competition that he played against at Boise
At
State?
Boise State, um, I I think I think he'll be fine, man. I
Okay.
mean, obviously, in college football, I think if you were to put him against even in Ohio State, a national champion, he probably would have done his thing. So I think he's just talented.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, there's always that people will wonder if they're not playing in the toughest conference and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, I guess you can say that, but
Yeah.
if you ask me, I think he's just good.
Look at engineer talking about him like little Lou. Look at the little baby. He talking about Raiders got an
Ray's got an
exciting little,
exciting little offense.
little something going on over there. Uh, so again,
Oh
no,
shit.
no, Al sucks in my draft. I understand, and I'm not saying again. I'm not knocking Genty. I'm just asking, you know, as opposed to like um, one of these SEC running backs, going through the gauntlet, seeing the toughest D lines, seeing the toughest linebackers. You know what I'm saying? Seeing some of the toughest defenses in the nation. When those guys come into we talking about the Georgia guys right now, SEC. When those guys
Yeah,
come into the pros, they hit, right? Like you have a better success rate with these larger programs, the Alabamas, the Georgias, like all these SEC powerhouses, just because of the gauntlet that they go through in college football.
hmm
So I'm not, but all
yeah,
time.
because I was gonna say too, like you also gotta think, you gotta look at each conference, um, in its totality, because Mississippi State
Yeah,
wasn't that Vanderbilt,
yeah,
um, Kentucky,
hmm
like you got to look at the bottom feeders too.
yeah,
Um, I know Florida hasn't been as good. They're usually one of the staples, but as of late, they haven't been as good as they were in the past.
right,
But like the SEC, just historically is one of the toughest conferences. But from top to bottom, if you start looking at the bottom, there's some teams in there that if you take a Boise State and replace Boise State and put them in the SEC, they'd probably do better, just to
right,
kind of put some stuff into perspective. So I don't think it's just like Boise, it's your question is justified, I think, just to ask, just because of what the SEC has stood for all these years. But I mean, look at the Big 10, Big 12, all those teams. You could look at the top of those, but then look at the bottom
yeah,
and think about what Boise State would do if you replaced them there. Like, it's, I don't know, a little give
yeah.
and take, but I get it.
But you know who I've heard, and again, I haven't heard too much on Genty, so we'll see, we'll see. But
Scotty boy jumped
uh,
in the building. No Florida slander,
uh,
huh?
please
Please
and
and
thank
thank you.
you. uh, but who I heard has been killing it in camp